Samadhi, the experience beyond life and death. In spiritual traditions, especially in yoga and Vedanta, Samadhi is considered the highest state of consciousness. It is a deep meditative absorption where the individual ego dissolves and the person becomes one with the infinite reality. For a common person, imagine a state where all thoughts, identities, and fears, including the fear of death, completely disappear. In ordinary life, we constantly identify with our body, mind, name, and roles. We say, I am a teacher, I am a parent, or I am sick. These identities are tied to the physical body and mind, both of which are subject to change, aging, and eventually death. This identification causes fear, especially the fear of loss and death. But in Samadhi, the meditator experiences their true nature, pure awareness or consciousness, which is not limited by the body or mind. In that state, one realizes, I am not this body, I am not these thoughts, I am the silent, changeless witness behind all of it. This awareness was never born and never dies. It simply exists, peaceful, eternal, and free. This is why saints and enlightened beings say, there is no death for the true self. The death of the body is just a transformation in the world of forms. In Samadhi, one experiences the timeless, deathless essence of life, untouched by worldly events. People who come out of deep Samadhi often lose their fear of death because they have tasted a reality beyond it. They realize that life and death are part of a divine play, but the self, consciousness, is always beyond. Thus, Samadhi transcends life and death not by escaping them, but by revealing the deeper truth, that our real nature is eternal, untouched by time, and beyond all change. The astral and causal planes, in the remarkable chapter, The Resurrection of Sri Yukteswar, Paramahansa Yogananda recounts a deeply mystical experience where his guru, Swami Yukteswar, appears to him in a vision after physical death. Yukteswar tells Yogananda that he has been resurrected in the astral world and has been given the spiritual responsibility to guide advanced souls in that realm. Yukteswar explains that life continues after death, but not in the form we know. He describes two higher planes of existence. One, the astral plane. After death, most souls pass into the astral world, a subtle and luminous realm composed of light and vibration. In this realm, souls have astral bodies, which are made of energy, not flesh and blood. These bodies don't age or decay like physical bodies. The astral plane is incredibly beautiful and harmonious, where communication is through thought, and creation happens instantly through willpower. Souls here experience joy, freedom from disease, and deeper spiritual learning. However, this is not the final destination. Based on their karma and desires, they may reincarnate on Earth or move to higher realms. The causal plane. Even subtler than the astral realm, the causal world is where only pure consciousness exists. Here, souls no longer need bodies at all, not even astral ones. They exist as points of divine intelligence and pure awareness. The causal plane is closer to God, where all material and astral experiences are transcended. Liberation, or moksha, is achieved when a soul dissolves its ego and merges completely with the infinite. Yukteswar assures Yogananda that these worlds are as real as Earth, if not more so. Earthly life, filled with suffering and limitation, is only one layer of a much vaster, multidimensional existence. He emphasizes that spiritual progress continues after death, and the ultimate goal is to realize the eternal self beyond all planes. This chapter reassures readers that death is not an end, but a doorway to higher dimensions. Through sincere spiritual practice, love for God, and self-realization, one can transcend rebirth and enter eternal unity with the divine. Yogananda presents these truths not as fantasy, but as realities confirmed through direct experience, giving great hope, comfort, and inspiration to all spiritual seekers. Cosmic consciousness. Paramahansa Yogananda recounts a life-changing spiritual experience that took him beyond the ordinary boundaries of the mind and body into the vast, infinite awareness known as cosmic consciousness. This state is considered by yogis and sages to be the ultimate realization of the oneness of all creation. Yogananda describes how this divine experience occurred while he was in the presence of his guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. During a casual conversation, Sri Yukteswar touched Yogananda gently on the chest. At that moment, a flood of spiritual energy surged through Yogananda's body. The physical world dissolved, and he was instantly transported into a boundless realm of light, energy, and unity. He writes that he could see and feel the entire universe as a part of himself. Stars, galaxies, and all forms of life became one with his own consciousness. He was no longer limited by his physical body. Instead, he experienced oneness with all creation, past, present, and future. He could hear the vibrations of the universe and feel the flow of cosmic energy through everything. It was not a mental imagination, but a real, overwhelming experience of divine truth. In this state of cosmic consciousness, Yogananda realized that God is not separate from creation, but present in every atom, every soul, and every moment. There was no distinction between him and the rest of the universe. All dualities, such as life and death, light and shadow, self and other, vanished. What remained was the experience of pure being, infinite love, and eternal truth. Despite this powerful experience, Sri Yukteswar reminded Yogananda that this was only a glimpse of the ultimate state of spiritual liberation. It had been temporarily granted to show him what lies ahead on the spiritual path. This experience inspired Yogananda to dedicate his life completely to serving others and helping them reach this state through yoga, meditation, and devotion. Key lessons. Cosmic consciousness is a real, attainable state that lies beyond the ordinary human mind. In that state, one experiences the interconnectedness of all life, realizing that the universe is not a collection of separate things, but one living whole. Such an experience brings deep peace, joy, and fearlessness, as one recognizes their eternal nature beyond birth and death. Spiritual practice, under the guidance of a realized teacher, can lead to this expanded awareness. This chapter serves as both an inspiration and a map for seekers on the path. It assures us that we are far more than we appear to be, that within us lies the potential to awaken to a limitless, divine consciousness, where the boundaries of ego and separation fall away, and all that remains is oneness with the infinite. Life, death, and deathlessness in the teachings of Edgar Cayce and the Samadhi experience. Edgar Cayce, often called the Sleeping Prophet, gave thousands of spiritual readings that explored the nature of life, death, and the soul's eternal journey. According to Cayce, life is a continuous cycle, not limited to one physical lifetime. Each person is a spiritual being, temporarily residing in a body to grow in awareness and love. Cayce taught that death is not an end, but simply a transition. When the body dies, the soul moves into a higher, non-physical dimension, what he described as the spirit world or the astral realm. There the soul reflects on its earthly experiences and prepares for future incarnations. Death, in this view, is like moving from one room to another in a great spiritual mansion. However, Cayce also emphasized deathlessness, the soul's divine origin and ultimate destiny to reunite consciously with God. He believed that as a soul evolves, it begins to awaken to its true identity as an eternal spiritual being. This leads to liberation from the cycle of birth and death. This teaching parallels the Samadhi experience in yogic and Vedantic traditions. Samadhi is a deep state of meditation in which the ego dissolves and one merges with pure consciousness. In this state, the fear of death vanishes because the individual directly experiences the eternal self, beyond time, body, and thought. Samadhi is sometimes described as the death of death, because it reveals that death is an illusion created by attachment to the body. The one who realizes Samadhi understands, I am not this body, I am pure, unchanging awareness. This experience brings lasting peace, freedom from fear, and deep joy. In both Casey's insights and the yogic tradition, true life begins when we realize our deathless nature, the eternal spirit within us.
Mahavatar Babaji and the Deathless State. Mahavatar Babaji is a revered Himalayan yogi, often called the Deathless Master in yogic and spiritual circles. His story is most widely known through Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, where he is described as a divine being who has maintained a youthful, physical body for thousands of years. Far from being a mythical tale, Babaji's existence is affirmed by advanced yogis and saints who have encountered him across centuries. Babaji achieved the deathless state through complete spiritual realization and mastery over the forces of nature. By controlling prana, life energy, and practicing Kriya Yoga, he transcended the limitations of time, aging, and physical decay. His body does not age because it is sustained by divine consciousness, not by food or biological processes. He has no ego, no attachment, and no karma that would require him to reincarnate. He resides in the remote Himalayan regions, far from civilization, and appears only to sincere seekers and great saints when needed. His purpose is not personal gain, but to uplift humanity spiritually and guide sincere souls toward liberation. This exalted state is known in Vedanta as Jivan Mukti, meaning liberation while still living in a body. Babaji's continued presence is a living demonstration of the highest yogic truth, that death is not inevitable for a fully realized soul. The body can be spiritualized and made imperishable when the soul merges with cosmic consciousness. His life inspires millions by proving that human beings are not just physical forms, but divine in essence. Through inner discipline, deep meditation, and surrender to the divine, one can awaken to the same eternal, deathless nature that Babaji embodies.